Well, hey everybody, it's been a while, but I'm back, and I wanted to update everybody. I guess the reason I haven't been on doing updates much is it's been a little discouraging lately. I don't get discouraged very easily, and I'm not discouraged right now. However, my eating stuff that was going pretty good for a while kind of started going the other way. It got to be where almost every time I ate, I'd get stomach pains and gas pressure and be doubled over. I shouldn't say every time. It was not. It has gotten to be where almost every time I eat, I do get some kind of stomach pains. It's not always excruciatingly bad, but occasionally it is pretty bad where I've just kind of want to fold myself in half and hold my stomach. I've tried a bunch of different medicines and saw the surgeon again post-op last week. He seemed to think it was fairly normal at that time. He wasn't super worried. But I went for my first immunotherapy yesterday, which was Monday, and they didn't want to give it to me because of the eating problems I've been having. I've been using the feeding tube again, much to my chagrin, pretty much every day, probably six to 8 hours, so like 3 or 4 cartons a day. But that's the only way I can get right now the amount of calories I need. I can still eat, and I can eat anything now. However, I did see my surgeon again today. He told me maybe to back off again and not try to eat everything, go back to liquids or soft foods. So that's where that is. It looks like probably I'm going to have another barium x-ray, which is where you drink stuff and they watch it go down to see if there are any blockages or any problems like that that they can see there. But he is also wanting to schedule another endoscopy where they put me out and put the tube down my throat and take a look around. He said they may need to stretch some stuff. He may need to put some more Botox into a muscle down in my stomach. But they are working hard to try to figure this out. And I am working hard to try to stay positive that we're going to figure this all out. I had really hoped to, somewhere around this week, next week, to be able to be heading back to work. And I guess that's the discouraging part, is I don't feel like I'm close right now. Still recovering, still get tired fairly easy, which I don't think would be a giant problem at work. But having to be hooked up to a feeding tube for 6 or 8 hours a day, in addition to every time I do eat something, basically wanting to double over, is not a real good recipe for getting back to work. So that's kind of my update. Hopefully we'll get this all figured out. I'm about to head to the pharmacy right now to get another prescription for something it's called Regulin. They gave it to me after the hospital, and I took for like 2 weeks. It's supposed to help the food and everything to kind of go through better. And it had run out, and I didn't really think I needed more because I didn't think it made that big of a difference. Maybe it did, so maybe when I get this, that will help as well. My endoscopy could be as early as this Friday. Luckily, Dr. Fowler, who is an awesome doctor who did my surgery, and then I'm saying luckily, very sarcastically, is retiring at the end of this month. So he is only there like a couple more weeks. So they're going to fit me in. He wants to get through this with me before he leaves. So that's why they're possibly going to try for this Friday. If not, I would imagine it'll be next week. and if anybody's available, I may need a ride to and from. This is a outpatient procedure, so we'll see when they schedule it, and I'll maybe make some calls around and see if anybody's available. Anyway, sorry I haven't had an update in a while. At least I had a lot of actual stuff to say instead of hemming and hawing. So it's not going terrible. I have lost a considerable amount of weight again since I'd been back up to 200 for surgery, and then I was back down to like 185. I think I'm back up a few pounds now. So between the tube feedings and what I'm eating, I am starting to gain weight again, which is a good thing. But unless I can sort out this eating thing, I don't know how without the tube I will ever be able to eat 2,000 calories a day. So that's kind of where I am. Not the best place, not the worst place either. I'm sure it could be a lot worse. So anyway, it's been way too long since I made one of these. So I did want to make one. Now I'm going to head to the pharmacy and pick up my new prescription so I can start getting that in my system. And we'll go from there. So that's where we are, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I still love you all. I still miss you. I still can't wait to get back to work. I just hope the season's not over before I can get there. Fingers crossed it won't be. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, tuning in. I'll try to make these a little more often. We'll see how I'm feeling. Okay. Adios. Have a great day.